Unethical Segregated Fees and Adjustment Strategies by Jesse Brickmo and Virginia Haig. Problem description. The purpose of focusing on this problem was to bring attention to an unethical behavior on UW Stout's behalf. University students proved to be unaware what is all included in their segregated fees and their tuition. One of the fees we are paying for as students is student health center charges. What most students don't know is that they are paying for services that are unavailable to them. Student health is closed during the summer months. If students are enrolled in credits for the summer, they are paying for unavailable services. Research, survey, and interviews. Our background research consisted of looking at other UW system schools such as UW Eau Claire and UW Madison. Out of two of the interviews, one was conducted in person and the other through email. Our two interviewees were James Robertson, Director of Financial Affairs and Stout Student Association, and Phil Lyons, Vice Chancellor for Administrative and Student Life Services. The survey we completed was sent out to roughly 30 students at random. The surveys consisted of 6 questions regarding knowledge of segregated fees/tuition and knowledge of Student Health Center. We wanted to analyze different schools in UW system and how they charge their students. We decided to mainly focus on UW-Madison and UW Eau Claire. We found that Eau Claire charges less for their university health than UW Stout, and UW-Madison charges more than UW Stout. Here are our interview questions that we asked both our face-to-face interview and our email interview. The first question is, are you aware of this problem on campus? Second question, how do you think the student body would respond if we were fully aware of this? 3, could this be something that could be changed or resolved? 4, do you think this is ethical of the university? And lastly, what would you do if a student needed assistance in the summer and had to get medical care? Recommend going to the hospital, or would you reimburse the student? And this would be our face-to-face interview with Phil Lyons, the Vice Chancellor for Administrative and Student Life Services. His response to the first question was, are you aware to this problem on campus? And he said yes. How do you think the student body would respond if we were fully aware of this? His response wasn't necessarily direct. He said, students know about the issue of being charged while student health is closed. Could this be something that could be changed or resolved? There are several ways for charging the students their seg fees. He recommended 2 options, such as health insurance policy or bill fall and spring. That way we would eliminate the summer and winter seg fees that are included in tuition. Fourthly, do you think this is ethical of the university? His response was that he believes it is ethical. The university's budget is based on a fiscal year budget, which is July to July, not per academic term. The budget focuses on 52 weeks. And then for the 5th question, what would you do if a student needed assistance in the summer and had to get medical care? This is a question he didn't also answer directly. He said that student health is only a basic health module. It is not a replacement for full health care. He acknowledges that students do need to sometimes go out of the university to get further care. And that sums up the interview with Phil Lyons. And on to our interview through email with James Robertson, Director of Financial Affairs and Stout Student Association. He was unaware of this issue. His response was to the first question, while I was aware of the segregated fees are charged throughout the year, this particular topic has not been brought to my attention previously. The second question, how do you think the student body would respond if they were fully aware of this? And he responded with, I think there would be a certain percentage that would state their opinion, but most would not respond at all. Thirdly, could this be something that could be changed or resolved? And his response was, with help of administration, yes. Do you think this is ethical of the university? And he responded with, it could be viewed as unethical. And lastly, what would you do if a student needed assistance in the summer and had to get medical care? And his response was basically, I do not have the power to make the recommendation or reimburse the student. And here are our survey questions. It just asks them if they were aware, what they are charged, if they ever need medical assistance, did you know student health services closed during the summer months, and if they were aware of this problem on campus. Here are our survey results. To the first question, have you ever been enrolled for summer courses and stayed in Menominee for them? Most voted no. Only 4 responses were yes to this question. Did you ever need medical assistance over summer? If they said yes, they were to say where they went, and the majority said no. For the 2 students that said yes, they responded that they traveled back home, or they said that they waited till student health reopened. Thirdly, did you know student health services is closed during the summer months? Most voted no. Fourth, do you know what is included in your segregated fees with tuition? As expected, the average student responded that they didn't know what was included. 19 students said no, and only 5 responded yes. How do you feel about being charged for services that are unavailable to you? We explained to them what is included in their segregated fees and that they are paying for student health in the summer while it is closed. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the most upset and 5 being the least, 16 students responded 1. Were you aware of this unethical problem on campus? We received 23 no responses to this question. After reviewing all the results, we were convinced we could get the student body on board to make a change with this segregated fee problem. And then we went into our possible solutions and how to resolve this problem. First being charge fall and spring terms for specific segregated fees, and the results of this would be increase in total fees during fall and spring and decrease the total fees in winter and summer. Option 2, require students to have health insurance. Results would be students would use health center less. Students will find it would make more sense to go to an actual doctor's office with the insurance. And then if students had health insurance, the Stout Health Center would then bill students insurance rather than have students pay their seg fees. And then this would also reduce segregated fees since we'd be billing their insurance. Possible solutions, option 3, eliminate healthcare or health center costs and segregated fees. Students would pay per visit and the higher rates per visit because they wouldn't be charged their segregated fees, therefore every student wouldn't be paying a portion of their costs. A comparison of solutions, we found that option 2 and option 1 would be the same profit, if not more, or roughly the same. Option 2, less students would use the services. Option 1, is the more ethical way of charging students, we found. In option 3, students pay more per visit, which would result in more profit, higher costs for students, which students most likely would not be happy about. But we found that the top choice would be option 3, eliminate health center costs and segregated fees, that would result in students pay more per visit, higher rates per visit, since the student body would not be paying for it in their seg fees. And this would allow the university to break in a higher profit and more flexible for student use, since if we went with this option, Phil Lyons, our interviewee, recommended that we expand our student health center so we would be able to provide more services to the students. Conclusion. The first step for getting this problem resolved would be to go to SSA. We would then analyze the situation, whether or not it's worth working on. If option 3 would be accepted as a resolution, the student body would be very happy. We would be charged ethically correct. We would pay per visit and not more services, and more services would be at our fingertips. Currently, students don't know how they are charged and what is all included in their seg fees, which include student health center charges. We found that at the end of all our research and interviews and surveys that this problem is 100% resolvable.